To know about it, I couldn't help.
What do you mean? Give me hope. Pomozo, you're next. Give me your 30-second strike.
When you look at the bold moment of the week, it has to go to a man that made sure that Chipezeze does not make this save. Because when you look at this moment, look at Muremi. He unleashes an unstoppable shot, goes with the lace technique. He could have gone in front to ask for the ball, but he readies himself, lace technique, through that ball, and that is the bold moment of the week. Muremi, you deserve it, boy, but unlucky because over the weekend, your teammate had to do
so
what
you're already
he did.
handing out prizes.
No.
Did you just see the save of the season?
No, Mamela, we could have saved a lot of time. That was the bold moment of the week, but the champion moment is coming.
Thomas, Pomozo was too quick on the draw. He clearly had little faith that happened midweek.
And we have rules on our group. Once you choose, you can't change. He chose midweek, said, I'm taking that, and left a big gap for Matthew to step in.
Wow.
So, Matthew, give us your 30-second strike, which is going to be very close, I'm sure, with our viewers at home, to the goal, the save that Chipezeze made.
Yeah, who would have known? Who would have known that a strike would have come as close as it did to beating Moremi's strike, because that was a hell of a strike. But I mean, what Danson does here is just remarkable, because the skill here for me is that he's watching the ball in flight all the way. And if you have an imagination, you're thinking that somebody's coming to close you down, to put a foot through that, and he watches that ball onto his foot, gets it up and under, hits the crossbar, and leaves one of the world's best goalkeepers standing. And so for a young man to do that in that atmosphere, 1-0 down, away from home, to make it 1-1, wow, that's just
first start of the season as well for Danson in the Betway Premiership. Yeah, it's a very, 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 very good contender for the 30-second strike of the week. Very good contender.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
What are you
I
guys
appreciate it. For a change. Thank
Elvis, I'm with you, Elvis. Don't worry about that. I'm with you, Elvis. I'm with it. Let's go on now. And you guys tell us at home what you think as well. On a good weekend of football, as Tamba is telling us here, let's get to the Carling knockout. And the Carling knockout did see Orlando Pirates having to work pretty hard, in fact, to get the victory. And that was against Magesi. You've got the tactics and trends. Take me through that first goal.
Yeah, when you look at the first goal, you're going to focus on the pressure area and the non-pressure area. Mbokazi moves the ball to Siema, who has been brilliant this week. And at the bottom of your screen, Ndaba is lifting his hand to say, I'm ready to receive. When you look at that switch ball, the diagonal ball across, look at the amount of space that Ndaba has in this moment to be able to receive. That ball coming from Siema, crucial, moving that block of Magesi. Now, look at that defense. They are all watching their own goals, waiting for the hand of God is on Muremi. He's going to go on and score the goal. What are the defenders looking out for? For the space that Muremi might run into in that moment. But Muremi says, I can see where you want to go. I want to use the other space that is behind. I'm not going to attack the penalty area. I'm going to drop off. He drops off so well, Muremi. Good first touch to correct. And then after that comes the lightning strike. And the goal, Manaka Thomas. A well-taken goal, changing the point of attack. Siema on the right-hand side. Diagonal ball to find Ndaba with the assist, Muremi with a great goal.
And everything that Coach Wadu is touching now, when he brings in a player, they're contributing. I mean, Ndaba is not a regular starter. He gets an opportunity in this one. Looks he comes up with that assist.
Yeah, Hotto's made that position his own, but it's great to see him contributing, coming off, taking his chance. But what was remarkable about that move was if you saw that little bubble just before Siema laced that ball, it didn't affect him in the least. So he trusted his technique, and that to find Ndaba in that open space was just phenomenal from the centre back.
More tactics, more trends. Pirates, the second goal.
You can see in the moment that we're going to look at now, you'll see the formation of Magesi in the moment that we're going to look at. Now, Orlando Pirates are rotating the ball yet again. Now, look at that back four. Magesi were playing in a 4-2-3-1. That is the midfield two. Those are the three tens that were behind the main striker. I'm going to spiral Tito Maswanganyi because he's going to go on and give the assist in this moment. The end of God is on Mahopa. He's on the outside at the moment. You don't want your striker to be in those positions. Now, Makgopa is going to move into that central area. When he moves into that central area, he's creating a space for Libito to be able to capitalize on that space. Now, Pirates push forward, and as soon as Tito plays that ball out wide, look at Libito. Libito points and says, Tito, I want you in the pocket. Go in the pocket. I'm going to play that ball in the pocket. Tito receives in the pocket. The end of God is on Makgopa. He's going to go on and score the goal in this moment. Look at that pass from Tito, dissecting 3 players with that one pass. Good first touch coming from Makgopa. He spins that defense and the ability to go across goal to be able to find the goal. A well-worked goal, delightful pass by Tito.
Needs that goal because he's been the assist king at Pirates, but he is the number 9. And you want him to be scoring goals if you're a Pirates fan.
Yeah, and he's actually got very neat feet, and he's a good box poacher. So, you know, Makgopa didn't, you know, when you get sucked in as a back 4, you've got to do a concertina movement. So you've got to shuffle across very quickly, and Makgopa didn't do that. And if you're going to give Evidence that kind of space, he's going to punish you.
Now, Daniel, there's a yellow card that comes, and most people don't understand this. You know, a keeper goes down injured, and the referee says, yellow card. Is it a yellow card to be injured?
Well, the main reason for this yellow card is delaying the restart, but there is a trend. Pamunzo loves his trends and tactics. So what's happening in the world of football now is goalkeepers have been told to go down.
Chipazeze goes down.
Pretend to be injured, because then the referee doesn't have to make the goalkeeper leave the field to play for treatment, so they then have a team meeting at the halfway line. So this is becoming a trend even at my son's school football matches. The coach says, Simi, down. He fakes a hamstring. He has a team meeting. Keeper doesn't have to go off. They have the team meeting, tactics, then the game restarts again.
I mean, to be fair there, I mean, Elvis is not, he's made a save here. Brilliant save. One of the moments of the week. And it's difficult to see how you've injured yourself with this.
Yeah.
And then he sits down and he's not holding anywhere on his body.
Yeah.
There's no way like he's saying, it's my hamstring, it's my this, it's my that. It's not late in the game. It's 35 minutes. So the referee has spotted all that and can make a judgment call.
See,
like, this is a pure judgment call. You're faking.
As
Basically,
referees, we're not psychologists or whatever, but we can read a player's body language, and there's clearly nothing wrong with him. He's not holding any part of his body, like you say, and we sometimes tend to take the score of the game and the pace of the game at that time to slow the game down. And you can get a sort of feeling on the field of play as to which players are doing that.
Everyone's shaking their heads here next to you. Pamunzo's shaking his head. Matthew's shaking his head. So yellow card, Elvis, and Elvis is shaking his head.
Yeah, they were overloaded in that midfield. That is Makesi. They started off with a 4-2-3-1 formation. Now that stoppage was for them to tinker with the midfield, with the central midfield, because they needed to add one more midfielder. So for the coach to be able to give the instructions, Chipazeze had to sit down so that they can add that extra man into that midfield. It was a tactical change, a tactical adjustment that they had to do.
And I feel that referees must start calling their bluff, because let's be honest, in 90 minutes, a goalkeeper shouldn't be doing enough to get cramp. So unless there's obvious contact, then fair enough. But if he's going to be stopping play in that manner, holding his hamstring, the referee's got to call his bluff and tell him to get up.
He didn't even
Tell him to get up. Tell him to get up and stop messing about, you know, because it's a clear tactic.
So you support that yellow?
Absolutely, yeah. And the thing is, telling players to just stand up. We're also not doctors, so what we have to do, what we do have to do, is administer the rules of the game. Delaying the restart of the game, so therefore yellow card.
There's another one coming up later where a player kicks it into the stands, and I don't even know if that's delaying the restart. He gets a yellow card. We'll talk. We'll talk. We'll see if there's consistency from the referees, and call it like Bennett has called that one a yellow card for Elvis Chipazeze. Let's move on to Marumo Gallants and Stellenbosch. This was a quarterfinal in the Carling knockout, and here, hey, the little guys. The little guys were on fire. None more so than this man, Ndondlo, with the clinical finish.
No, it's an excellent finish. I think he's playing that role very well at Marumo Gallants. They are using him as a false 9. He is the outlet whenever they have the ball. But a lot of work was done by Utlalisa in this moment. In this instance, it's just a long clearance. But look at him with the hunger to ask for the ball in behind. He tries to play his teammate in, but the bounce of the ball, it drops perfectly for him. He gets his brace. He goes on to be man of the match in this game in London.
Such bad defending from Stellenbosch though in that sector at right back and right side of centre back. You know, to allow him to get in behind them, they're all both defenders ball watching. It's really not acceptable to allow him that sort of space in behind.
Again, and let's continue with the performance that Marumo put on here. The rain starting to come down, the conditions becoming difficult, and still, it's the guys who benefit the littler guys on the field. I love it because I'm not a big guy. I love it. You know, to see the shorties. Wonderful.
You've got a big personality, Thomas. That's what counts. But yeah, unfortunate for Henri. You know, he obviously tries to clear it, but oncoming Pambaniso sticks his leg out. Rather fortunate. And this is, again, very poor defending. The front centre-back doesn't win it. I think that's Naba. And Manaka, who's come on, who hasn't found a lot of game time, you know, has put his hand up to start in the following game by making it 4-0.
They get 4 goals. Stellies. I mean, you're the man from the Western Cape. Explain.
Yeah.
I mean, they were in a final just the other day at the beginning of the season. This is a game where they could potentially get to another semi-final and they catch 4.
Yeah, look, I mean, Steve's always done very well to recruit after having sold his marquee players. I think perhaps a couple of positions, not the sort of quality coming off the bench necessarily. So perhaps that could be his problem.
Speaking of 4s, the Arrows scored 4 against Marumo Gallants. That is coming up on Sunday, and we'll look at that later on. That was in the Betway Premiership, now in the Carling Knockout. Yarr! That's going to be an opportunity for revenge, but can they? And then Richards Bay Orlando Pirates on Saturday night, or Saturday afternoon.
If you want a weekend away, you must go to KZN. You're going to get 2 good games. Richards Bay host Orlando Pirates. Arrows is going to host Marumo Gallants. So those are 2
I don't want to hear
good
good
games.
weekend. I want to hear final.
Final.
Who's in the final?
No, these are still semi-final.
Yeah, but who will be in the final?
Richards Bay or Pirates, Arrows or Marumo.
Are you willing to go any further than that?
Where my predictions are going, no. I'd rather just keep quiet.
Nyasava!
It's very, you know.
Is it that tight? Like, are the fixtures that tight?
Yeah.
You know, if you look at the Betway Prem, it's very difficult to predict results because of the quality. And so when it comes to cup football in a semi-final, I wouldn't want to, no.
Okay, well, at home, you guys can predict then. Carling Knockout, what do you think? Who will make it to the final with those semi-finals in Durban to look forward to over the weekend, live on your World of Champions in Durban? Speaking of which, when we go to Durban, we have to go now to the Betway Premiership, where Durban City were hosting Kaizer Chiefs. Critical 3 points in this one. There was a goal disallowed, Daniel, and we saw Gavin Hunt celebrating.
Typical Gavin Hunt celebration.
Yeah.
But clearly offside. I mean, Suela got it spot on, and you see as the ball gets pinged to the right wing here, there's a cross into the penalty area, and clear offside there when the ball's played. He's at least 2 or 3 yards offside, so correct decision by Suela.
It wasn't so 100%. Clear. Gavin was on his bike. Magawana, absolutely.
And even the subs were complaining, but it's absolutely 100% clear offside.
We'll see on the replay. And I was even trying to work this out, Promoter. Magawana could have done anything to stay onside, but he doesn't get to this ball if he stays onside.
No, he can't get to the ball. No. The first thing is stay onside and try and get there, because it doesn't help to be ahead, and then the defenders are not dropping off. So it's very difficult for him to stay onside, because the defenders are keeping their line to say, hey, Ndota, you're getting too close to our goalkeeper. We'll keep our ground.
And you know, the thing is, if you looked at the clock on that moment there, disallowed goal, 85:30 on the clock. I don't think Coach Gavin Hunt has even got back to the bench from the celebration when its ball is in the net on the other side of the field.
Now, what I liked about Kaze and his staff was he started with Mtetwa as a sole 6. So he had 5 players in front of him who were very attack-minded, you know. Also, their ball position was in their favor throughout the game. Gavin went with Jodwana, Jurgens, and Nodada midfield, which just had a very much a defensive element to this. This is a great finish from De Silva. You know, when that ball floats in perfectly for you, you know the goalkeeper's coming to or moving, gravitating towards his near post. So he's got to get that glided headed to the far post perfectly, and he does so.
If you're giving an assist of the season, maybe this cross from Gaston Serino needs to be amongst them.
You know, we've been on the case of the Kaizer Chiefs co-coaches, but we need to give them credit here, because the 3 players that are involved before the ball goes into the back of the net, they're coming off the bench. When we speak about the coach's influence, is when the coach brings in a Munyani who knocks the ball down, Serino who's going to cross the ball, Flavio that is heading the ball into the net. Those three guys that touches the ball, they are coming from the bench. So it says a lot about the coach and going to plan B. But that is a difficult cross because it's just lifting. As he's connecting with the ball, it's lifting. But the technical quality that Serino has in this moment is second to none. He has produced such top performance for years in South Africa. But give the credit to the coaching team of Kaizer Chiefs. They make the correct decision. Flavio off the bench to score. Serino off the bench to give the assist. Munyani off the bench to give the secondary assist. That comes from the bench of Kaizer Chiefs. Well done.
7 clean sheets this season for Kaizer Chiefs. Their first win since August, though, massively important.
Yeah, great. And there's, you know, obviously a little bit of history there with Gavin had coached the team. So he would have got his team up and running and aggressive. But yeah, well deserved ultimately. I think the message was clear from Kaizer, you know, as opposed to Gavin's midfield about their attacking impetus and deservedly winners.